Welcome everybody to the Watchlist, your virtual weekly TV guide right here on the Latin Nerds Network, where we go over all the shows and movies that get released on streaming, and of course let you know what's coming out each week, so you can create your very own watch list. So ready to make our recommendations this week. Of course, joined by my very lovely co-host, it's Senor Jaime, aka Chewy. What it is, what it was, what it shall be.
What it will be.
That
What's going
works
on,
too.
brother?
Doing good. Fancy football
We
upcoming.
are less than a week away from our annual fantasy draft show.
Oh, what? It's only a week. God, time flies.
Well, yeah, less than a week. Thursday. It's Sunday, so yes, less than a week.
Oh, there you go. The goal to reaching bridesmaid status begins yet again.
For you, once again, yes.
Once again, with Chewy still trying to get to the wedding. Uh, trying to secure that invite. But that being said, that's another story for another day. We're gonna start with some very sad news, though. Look back.
In memoriam.
Or in memoriam, of course, a very sad passing of Better Call Saul. Saul's over, if you will. 7-year run,
Sounds
sixth
good,
season
man.
is finally come to a close. So we want to kind of discuss
No,
how this
but there's
ended.
there's a new sequel coming out.
Yeah,
It's called Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Uh, I saw that was a funny meme. But yeah, this one, this is capping off, I guess, what, a 13, 14-year run from the Breaking Bad universe, I guess.
A long ass run, dude.
A
That's all
long
I
ass
know.
run with Saul, which, was a prequel and a sequel to the Breaking Bad series, ended up being at the same
Yes, yes,
time. And, like,
exactly.
it's hard to stick the landing. It really is. We've seen a lot of good shows not really end well. Game of Thrones always comes to mind because one of the most recent ones. But,
For obvious reasons.
right, for obvious reasons. But I got to say, for me, it was great. This one, for me, really nailed the landing, which was not easy to do. It's very incredibly well detailed. The writing was on point, very poetic, if you will, and it took a different turn than I expected to see in terms of what would happen to Saul after all this time. Yeah, man, it was so good. I just really liked how this ended, man. I love the sequences, showing with Mike, Walter Whitehorse coming back for the episode, and his brother who came back. I forgot his name, Thomas, not Thomas, whatever his name is, McGill, and that one great scene with it. We're finding he's always been the whole episode alluding to what you do in a time machine, what will you change, and then to me, this scene is the scene I think that shows that Jimmy McGill would have gone back and changed with a moment which kind of turned him, put him on the path of, okay, now he's gonna come full Saul for everything that happened with Kim and et cetera, et cetera. I love that. The scene with Kim was great, and the kind of call back to the original series when they're smoking, up against the wall. He was talking about his brother. They showed the exit sign with the noise, the electronic noise that it made, which they showed that before. All that work, it was spot on, dude. I thought this was great, and again, it really kind of not only capped Saul, but capped the entirety of the Breaking Bad universe, because we finally saw what happened to, of course, Saul Goodman, which is the last character in the show. So, Chewy, your thoughts on the finale, man?
I'm gonna push back just on one or 2 points, and I still don't see or understand why he felt he had to take the fall for everything. I think there was a way for him to get Kim up, because obviously Kim was there because he thought he was gonna rat on her, right? That's why, and that's what she was worried about. And I think there was a way for him to still get her out of trouble, still take the deal, and still not spend the rest of his natural life in jail. But you know, whatever.
Yeah, for me, I just thought he turned back to Jimmy McGill, right? And to do that, just admitting what happened in front of her, right? That was the point. He
Mm.
did this for her, right? He wanted her approval, before his last swan song. He'd rather spend the rest of his years in jail and get out early and not have her, I say, respect, I guess, or admire, or whatever the case is, or end in the terms that it ended and how he felt about him. Particularly of all the shit he did, to me, is like, this is my chance
Yeah, but
to come
he
out
still
and
could
say,
have done that
what,
because I mean, the only reason she was there is because she heard that he was
right.
gonna talk,
But he did it on
and
purpose. But that
and
was his
for
plan.
civil suit. I mean, that was his
Yeah.
purpose to get
Right.
her there to actually
Right.
be there,
Right.
right? But he could have still said, done it, done said it, confessed to okay, I can't remember the character's name now.
Howard.
Howard Hamlin's, demise and death, and still have done all that and gotten her off the hook, or at least from a civil standpoint, because I don't think they were going to pursue her legally anyway at this point. There was just no evidence, right?
Not her, just on the civil side. But again, it goes both ways. I
Yeah,
think it's
exactly.
if it was just a civil thing, I would agree with you. But I think he did it to kind of just unload it himself, right? Just come to peace with who he is. It's enough. He's just and like even Walter White saying this is the way he's always been. And
No, but I mean, and that's why I pushed back because on the bus ride there, right? What happened? All the inmates started recognizing, right? It was Saul Goodman, and they started giving a chance, and he has this little, this little smile, this little smirk, right? Of what he had done, who he created, this persona and this person he created, and he liked it. It wasn't like oh no. He was loving it.
of course,
You could see
he
that in
enjoyed
his
it.
face.
Absolutely, he liked it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and obviously, and that notoriety was going to get him places. At least, obviously, within the jail cell community, because he's never getting out, right? At least not,
of course.
Nick, well, he's already what 40s, 50s. I mean, he's had like a 90-year sentence. Forget it, he's not getting out.
Oh, yeah, he's dying, obviously. But yeah, to me that worked. For me, it worked. It really did. I just thought that release him because he liked the Saul thing. It's like Walter White liked being who he was, right?
No,
obviously, right?
Yeah. He admitted
it's not like
he
liked,
liked,
it's not he
he
didn't like
liked
it.
being,
Yeah, he just wanted to come out.
The Heisenberg persona. He wanted to be the
He wanted
best,
to be known,
and because of his resentment of what they did to him at the Brain, can't remember the name of the company. That he felt betrayed and he wanted to create something. Whatever it was, he wanted to be creative, wanted to be number one.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but for me, like I say, just that really, I think he just wanted that release, and then finally admits and so what happened to his brother, right? I mean that it was partly his fault. It was his fault. Howard, it was his fault, right? Essentially, even having the, Hank's wife there, and we didn't get him, Hank, and Gomez dying, was his fault. Him just coming.
Well, I mean,
just to a certain degree, right? To a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
He was part of it. Right? He was part of it all.
He facilitated, but he wasn't giving the orders. He wasn't the leader.
Yeah,
he wasn't
exactly. But
he was just a foot soldier, right?
Exactly.
Doing what he's told and facilitating them for his own personal wealth and gain.
But
right.
He didn't help. I mean, he could have not. Like he even said, Walter White.
But
he's right. Walter White may not even survived without him.
I mean, his brother was not, free of fault because what did he do? He didn't want him to be a lawyer. Period. He had no faith that his brother could be. No respect and no faith that he could be legitimate.
Sure.
And that was clear, and that's why he pushed and fought and pushed.
Oh no, absolutely. What he did was still not the right thing. Ultimately he knows that he didn't pull the trigger, but his actions led to he got him suspended and the license or the medical revoked or whatever because of the medical condition. Unnecessary. And then which is why I love going back to that scene because that was like the moment, right? Oh, that's what I would have changed. He had the time machine book, very cool, and we've seen a time machine book before in that show, which is kind of cool. I just didn't realize it. I was like, oh, let's write the book. So that was good. For me, like I said, great ending, great series overall. Excellent series overall. So it will be missed. It was a Better Call Saul. I absolutely enjoyed it. Unlike Westworld, which is the other show that ended its season run, not finale, of course, just season finale.
Well, it could be finale.
Which is one of my complaints. Westworld, I was really liking this season a lot. Right.
Yeah.
And overall, it's still the best season since the first one. If this was a series finale, a few tweaks here and there would have nailed it, right? But the
thing is, we don't know. Obviously, with this is all stemming from the whole Discovery Plus merger plus and HBO and HBO Max, and what's with everything being cut. Well, I mean, they had to do it in a way where it could serve as a series finale. But the hope was that obviously in their mind, they still have one more season to tell. So they couldn't just say, okay, yeah, this is the finale. Because if you make this a finale and then you say, okay, it's renewed, well, then you've already boxed yourself in, right?
No, right. I just, because for me, the story that they want to tell next, if allowed, it's so disinteresting. It's just who cares about what happens in this, AI heaven, I guess, for lack of a better word, or whatever you want in this world that's, just the AIs. There's no human factor anymore, right? What's the point? What was the point? I don't want to see that. Nobody cares about that. When you take the human element away, who cares how much of these AI that are in there just doing whatever. It doesn't serve any purpose. If they would end the show her walking, that's a definitive ending where she there's no game plan. She just Dolores is the last one standing, whatever, goes into the heaven, whatever you want to call it, done, right? And if the show came back, then they could have done that and supposed to setting that up, making it believe there's more story to tell. So that's what it's not really a series finale. It's not a series finale. They set it up to where they want to continue the story. They could have just been
Yeah.
very ambiguous. She just walked in there saying, "I'm just gonna go back here, leave it at that." Ending. Maybe show the last humans remaining, that little group, which inevitably will end up dying, as what's her face had mentioned.
At some point,
A couple of tweaks here and there would have been a solid end, not a great ending, but it would have been a solid ending. But they didn't do that. They hedged the bets you took away from the trying to accomplish. We don't know all the humans dead. We don't even know what exactly. The world building wasn't built enough to was New York was that the only city ever left? Or I don't know,
no,
right?
you have to assume no.
Right. The thing is, I don't know, right?
Well, no, you don't have to assume. You know it's not because if you recall back to end, I think it was after credits of season 2 or season 3, where actually season 3, where the Man in Black went to, I think it was with Dubai or somewhere. This is at the very onset, where we think he's killed,
right,
in the after credits, but they're there with he's in some sort of machine building factory or whatnot. So it's one of their global sites, right? So you have to assume that this was done on a global level, right?
I guess.
Flies with these cities,
right? We're assuming that, right?
These pockets of humanity that have survived or have not been absorbed into the system, right? Which is these outliers, right? Just like before with Rehoboam, I mean, he had these outliers in cold storage, and obviously Hale had that kind of plan as well, putting some humans in cold storage at some point when she decided that okay, this experiment done, right? We're going to elevate ourselves,
right? But again, it's not. You're assuming it, right? We shouldn't have to assume.
Well, they didn't show us
right? So but that's part of the world building. Is that okay? Well, if you said
conjure and be subjective about what I thought when you look at the big picture,
right? Because now it's like, okay, if humanity is truly done, then again, what are we here for, right? There's no conflict anymore, right? Okay, it's just essentially. So what they set up was pointing here. Another game left.
Well, there's one outcome, and I said it's all determined on the Dolores character, whether some form of consciousness, humanity, and artificial is able to survive. Because right now it's mutual destruction now. Right,
so exactly. The world is over. It's just really that's the only thing remaining is that, and they could have left it. That would have been a cool ending, dark. I would appreciate that, but they just left it open and just so it took this hill, the winds from this hills, if you will, in terms of okay. If this was a series finale, I would have been happy, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not the way they set it up. They're hoping for more, so you don't close that loop. So
that one more,
and if let's assume they don't bring another season, it's like, well, this is the way it ended. You know what I'm saying? Commit to it, and you can still just go back and revisit, say, oh, they decided to push on in this realm or whatever. They come up with a different story. Fair enough. So that was my issue with it. But it was still a good season. Still the best since the first, in my opinion. Like I said, just kind of, sticking the landing's not easy. I get it. And it wasn't a horrible ending. It just was kind of hedging the bets and just commit. Give me something, right? End it or don't end it. Don't play it both ways because it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Give me an ending or set up or something. So we'll see. Like I said, but I'm not interested in seeing that just continue any further. I'm done with the show. I'm like, I'm good. I okay, it ended. Humans lost. Perfect. Wrap it up. I'm fine with that, and that's it. So
humanity is extinct.
Yeah, so let's see what happens on the road. But yeah, so those are the two shows that ended this week. Let's start with the new stuff, and Chew take lead here on She-Hulk, new Marvel show, Disney Plus. Everybody's saying it's the funniest show they've ever seen. Apparently, the greatest show in the MCU.
I'm not sure it's the funniest show. It's definitely the most unique of the MCU.
I know you didn't say that. I'm just saying that's what the word was. All their early reactions. Okay. Oh, it's just hilarious. And oh my God, it's like a sitcom. Fair enough. So Chewy, was the hype real? Was this legit?
I mean, I'm not going to say it was the funniest ever. Definitely the funniest of the MCU shows, which did not say much because those are not designed to be comedies. They have comedic elements. But,
right, yeah.
So in their take, obviously, they've made each show a different genre, right? Still within the MCU universe, and this is the one that's truly probably the funniest of the bunch. I enjoyed it, actually. I thought it was pretty good. it still advanced the story. It had plenty of funny moments, breaking the fourth wall, little slapstick here and there, um, and obviously that end credits joke about Captain
That
Rogers'
was awesome.
virginity was just
That
that was a riot.
that was great. Yeah,
First,
yeah.
first, if you actually watch the credits, they actually set it up because
Mm,
she's there with the poster showing Rogers a virgin and
right.
kind of connecting the dots on certain women. It's like, oh, okay, that's funny. But then they bring it home with that whole fake trunk scene, and I was like, oh, that was good. America's ass on display.
Yeah. That was definitely for
But
a deep cut for MCU
yeah,
fans.
exactly. And so, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I watched it with my wife, and she's not the biggest of the MCU fans, but I think this is probably one of her favorite ones so far out of all of them, because it just it hit certain notes with her,
Which I
and
get.
so it doesn't have to be action heavy to be entertaining, to be more to bring people in outside of people who don't normally watch the MCU movies and shows.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was solid. Good show. Again, I'm waiting for a great MCU show. I don't think that's ever gonna happen, and this is it's just clear. It's
They're
good.
the
You know, I enjoy it.
we've had a great MCU show. What are you talking about, man? Damn it, man.
Let's just not even go there. But
Say what you want. It is. I don't care.
no,
You have no
it's not
argument.
MCU. That's not MCU show. But either way, but this I mean, it's fine. It's humorous. I'm not gonna say it's funny. It's just humorous, right? It's not, wasn't the last joke is awesome. That's when the only time I laugh is in the end credit. When the end credits is better than the rest of the show, that for me that's a little bit of an issue. But that's neither here nor there. It was okay. It was fluff. It's fine. Whatever. You know, same shit, same toy. You know what you're gonna get with these shows, right? Solid entertainment. Not a big deal. If you don't miss it, if you miss it, whatever. If you're a huge fan, you're probably watching it despite what we say, and I get it. But it does. I think there's an appeal, like you mentioned, your wife. It does appeal to the female demographic, obviously, right? Stuff that we would understand as guys, and stuff that she's going through, the character. You know that we get. We just don't experience it. So from that sense, yeah, I think this show you can watch with your girlfriend. They'll probably enjoy it and probably get it even more than us. To be honest with you, it's good. Like I said, it's fine, solid, good effort, but whatever. You know, you let me know when to do something
It's
great.
only one episode. I mean, let's
Well,
not judge until we
oh no,
see the
yeah,
whole
it's
thing.
one up. Obviously, it doesn't get worse, it doesn't get better. You know, we've seen
Mm-hmm.
usually these shows start off well and then that end as good as they start for the most part. So let's see if this does the same or not. So and dude, in Disney, you got money that you can do good CGI. Dude, there's no excuse for shitty CGI. I still think she looks off, no weight with the character. The face looks terrible. It's bad CGI. It is what it is, and that sucks. Disney's got money, cheap fuckers put money to the show because this show's about a
Well,
CGI
I mean,
character.
granted, it's 1,000% better than we saw in that first trailer, where I watched it and it was like, I can't,
Oh
this
no, yeah,
is
it was
something cartoonish. Is
yeah.
this something? It was something that's
Oh no, the
completely like,
trailers was
you know,
horrible.
too early
It's,
enough a cut
yeah,
or not enough rendering or
it
something.
was really bad.
And at least this one, even seeing that, and obviously that was the bar, right?
Right,
Wherever that was your first bar.
sure.
And then watching this and seeing, okay, this looks a way lot better. It's not perfect, right? And maybe they could have put some more time and money into it, but compared to what we thought originally to what we're actually getting as a show, I'm like, I'm
I mean, it
satisfied
looks better than the
that it
trailer,
wasn't.
but it's still not good.
I
It's
mean,
still not good.
I'm not looking at Homer Simpson.
No, but it's yeah, it is what it. Like I said, not a bad. It's fine. It's entertaining. At the end of the day, I guess
Yeah.
that's
It doesn't detract,
no,
which was
no.
I
It
think your
doesn't.
biggest
It's
concern is
not
if you
distracting.
were seeing that you could not you would be distracted by, oh, this
No,
looks
yeah,
so bad,
it'll
or
take you right.
face
Yeah,
looks out of proportion, and you're like, I can't
it would
watch.
take
And so
yeah,
that it's
it
not
would
that.
take you out of the
Thank
series,
God.
take you out of the series
Yeah.
completely. So I absolutely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Peacock, they had Undeclared War,
Peacock.
BBC
Mm-hmm.
show, right? Brought over. This was a kind of a the BBC does a lot. This kind of espionage
Espionage,
thriller.
thriller, cyber warfare.
Yeah, this is about yes, I War for. We got this young girl who's interning now at the I forgot what they call it, the CG something, whatever it is.
CGHQ, something.
Some
Yeah.
kind of intelligence agency dealing with
Mm-hmm.
obviously cyber attacks or whatever, preventing of cyber
Mm-hmm.
attacks. But of course, cyber attack happens. She's brought in, the day something occurs, and she discovers. She's the only one who discovers this code that's in there, and there's obviously more to it, and the Russians, and they think the Russians are involved, blah blah blah. Simon
Non-Russians.
Pegg's in here, who I like Simon Pegg, and whatever. Um, eh. I mean, for me, in a word, it was fine.
Eh, eh.
And even Simon Pegg, who I like a lot, he's just there, right? He's not the
He's not much of a character in
exact,
the
and
show. I mean.
he's not, and there's no good characters in the show. Even the girl, I don't, she's whatever. Just nothing stands out. It's generic. It took a lot of inside baseball, a lot of this, coding talk, which for me, I'm not familiar with that kind of stuff. So it's a disconnect with the talking the code, and I can go here and there, and okay, it's going over my head, and that's because I'm just not into the coding. So it's not me. But it doesn't seem very exciting. Very slow. This is for me. It's not a bad show, but ultimately, I'm not recommending it, Chewy.
It's okay. Um, I mean, probably the most interesting aspect is it was two things, right? So when they represent the coders or the hackers, but they do it from first person perspective, where you're inside their mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're sitting in front of a screen, but then they show kind of like one scene where one of the guys is like inside a vault, looking at different boxes, trying to pick and choose, where to put things, and so that kind of visually represent what it is to kind of go and develop code or these malware type
Mm-hmm.
codes and whatnot, how to find stuff. And obviously the other aspect is how they represent the other side as far as attacking the West, right? And the means that they do it through Twitter, through influencing, and obviously through all out social and economic disruption. But yeah, the character. I don't think there's a character you can attach yourself to really to kind of drive that you want to care about what's going on. I mean, obviously, it's a relevant subject, but I don't think it's told in the best way to have a
Yeah,
character that you can latch on to
exactly. If
and
they're gonna give us, yeah,
and be interested.
if they're gonna more those scenes when they're in their heads, they could have had some fun with that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah. Because like the opening scene is like
very cool. Yeah,
you say, what's going on, right?
yeah,
And like all of a sudden her tools start appearing. I'm like, what?
yeah.
What And then you come through and it's okay. This is all in her head. She's trying to solve the puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And go and
It's
as
almost
part of
like
the
a video game kind of. There, I gotta go here,
yes,
and
exactly.
yeah,
She's on the screen typing away, trying to get to the find the cheese right in the maze. But they're visually showing as far as she's in this world, she's interacting, she's getting these tools, she's going through these ducks and things. So I thought it was very unique, but it was very little jarring at first because you didn't know what was going on.
yeah. If we got more of that, that would have been interesting,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I had, you know what it is? There's no fun. The show has no fun factor to it. Ultimately,
Yeah,
right? It's like okay, it's just going through
no,
the
it's very
motions.
serious.
Right,
It's
and which is
very
fine,
serious.
but if you don't give us a good character, it's like, okay, what am I watching? And again, it's fine. It's not a horrible show. It's not a bad show, but it's not one I can say. There's too much to watch and too much upcoming. We'll get to in a minute to where I can say, get involved in this one, right? Because the other shows coming up, which will probably better serve you.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully will. Anyway, so next one. This one, like I said last week, I was not going to watch it. I didn't see it. This is the Chewy show, right? For the next couple of minutes. Potentially, that's Surfside Girls on Apple Plus, and I love me some Apple Plus. This show,
10 seconds.
yeah,
I
this
just
show.
need 10
Oh, 10
seconds.
seconds. Oh, go ahead.
Pass.
Oh,
Hard
all
pass.
right. I knew
I
it.
had
Yeah.
it is too family. It's a family show.
Okay.
It's
I figured. I
and
figured.
it's I sat through the first episode. I dragged myself through the first episode and I was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, I thought
It's
so.
too kiddie, it's too fantasy, too kiddie. Nothing wrong with family
No,
shows,
no.
right? But this I'm not the demographic. This is for like if you have little kids
Okay.
and want to watch a fantasy show with them. It's not
That's what I thought.
subject matter is too fantastical, and it's like no, no, okay,
Okay.
we're done. Next.
That's what I thought. But luckily, Apple
Mm-hmm.
Plus did give us another
And
more
Apple,
adult rated. Oh,
I'm gonna diss in these type of shows because Apple Plus puts a wide range of genres.
yeah.
Just like Netflix, right? You
Sure.
have animated shows, you have kids shows, you have your tweens, and you have YA, then the serious adults, and so this is obviously within the library of shows that they're trying to appease to the Apple audience, right? With a little bit of
Sure. Which is
animation, some serious stuff,
exactly.
but it's
Which is
just
fine.
as far as for us to recommend. I mean, I can watch a family show with or without my kids if I enjoy it. I just didn't like it. It's just too
It
silly,
was too much on the one end.
too
I got you.
too fantasy,
Yeah.
and two of the young kitty factor.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not saying it's bad or good. It's just not for me. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not worth the time at this point. Again, so many shows to watch. But again, like I was saying, Apple Plus did give us something else to chew on.
Mm-hmm.
More
Very good.
adult oriented, and that's Bad Sisters.
Now
Um,
that I will recommend.
yeah, good show. Basic premise: we have a group of sisters, who one of them her husband dies, and they're all
Mm-hmm.
commuting out to the funeral, and then you discover that the other sisters, and this guy was a prick. That's just the name of the first episode.
I don't think that
There's,
I don't think
there's a
describe this
double
guy
meaning,
good.
but yeah, to that word prick, and particularly the
Then
first scene of the show. But yeah, so I guess you discover that they actually plotted to kill the husband without the sister finding out. And now, we got an insurance agency who's got a big policy and they got trying to investigate, thinking this is not exactly what it seems. And we had to learn exactly what happened, what the plan, et cetera, et cetera. It's a dark comedy, light on the comedic elements for me, personally. But that being said, it's a good. I liked it. It was really good, interesting, and okay. Even when the show is in the second episode, their attempts to kill the husband, they're like, oh, this is how it happened. Oh wait, that's not how it happened, right?
No, that's not how it
All right,
happened.
so
I
like,
knew that
okay,
wasn't how it happened because
well, right,
there was no the body wasn't burned.
right, because
like,
the way,
okay,
the
well,
way he died, obviously. But you're thinking, okay, maybe something happened, maybe he ran away and they killed him. I don't know, whatever, right? But so there's obviously more to this. It's not just simple. They just killed them, went on with their lives. There's more there. So I'm enjoying it. It's actually an interesting show, good show. It's not in the upper echelon of Apple Plus, catalog.
well, as compared to Subside, this is A plus.
Well, fair enough. Absolutely. But it's well done. Good writing. Like I said, not as funny as I was hoping it would be, but not whatever. I don't care. I didn't watch because of the comedy. I wanted to see a good story and a good mystery, and this is what this is, a mystery, right?
Well, I mean, the comedy is very dry.
It's very dry. It's very dark.
So it may not be your cup of tea as far as how you want comedy, but obviously with the subject matter, you're dealing with the murder, so you can't be, don't make this Clue.
Right. No, of course. Yeah, of course. Absolutely not.
It wasn't Professor Plum with the candlestick in the library, all right?
Although I would have guessed.
But it might be.
But the show does a good job of making you understand why these women killed this guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this guy
is.
I mean, you say prick. I mean, it's beyond that. I mean,
prick is a nice
at first you think, okay. At first in the first episode, he does some dickish things. Right. They're at a family gathering. He says something, especially with one sister who cannot have children. And he made a comment to her about, "Are you pregnant?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, what? Damn, right?" But the subsequent episode, you start seeing they start peeling back the layers, and something does to his wife, to his daughter, and things, and so that gets them to the point where the decision is okay, this guy's got to go.
Yeah, exactly. She finally had it. The main sister, when I made focus,
Ava.
I'm done. Yeah, there you go. We're gonna whack this guy. Very good show. I high recommend. It's very enjoyable. So I don't know how many episodes they're gonna have. I think it's a limited series.
8 episodes.
It's limited series, right? No, maybe.
No, I don't think it's a limited series.
Oh, okay. Right.
But I mean, let's see. It's not advertising.
Yeah, I don't see how they carries beyond on the season, but fair enough. Maybe they find a way. They don't Westworld this and give us a good ending. But that being said, speaking of limited shows on Netflix, when coming out, starring Michelle Monaghan. If I'm saying that right.
Monaghan, yeah.
And Echoes, this new Netflix-esque type of thriller that they throw out every so often.
Now this is a limited series.
This is exactly limited series, and which reminded me of Pieces of Her, kind of in the same kind of genre vibe as far as the show and all that. The one with I forgot her name. Irrelevant, but either way. So this here we have Michelle Monaghan. She has a twin, and live in different cities. Her sister, the twin, ends up missing. So she goes to find out what happened. They're extremely close, almost a little weirdly close, which they kind of dive into in later subsequent episodes. And something's going on, so she decides to take her sister's place to try to figure out firsthand exactly what happened.
Not so fast, my friend.
Which they've done before. It's not the first time they switched
places. No. That's not what happened. I think you're misinterpreting the show.
Am I? She didn't.
Yes, you are.
She didn't become.
She was the person who's missing. I think you might have missed a couple of details where they switched places a year before.
Well, but I'm saying they have switched before. I'm saying they've already switched.
No, but this is who there is a scene at the end where they say they switched before. So who you think is dead is actually
fair
the one that's alive.
But whatever.
So she's going, but she switches back. To try to find out what happened.
She takes over the sister's life unbeknownst to anyone else to find out.
A little late. Spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, it's the premise of the show. It's not the first episode.
Yeah.
That's what the show. She, becomes the way everyone thinks she.
So
is.
She doesn't go back to the sister. She is a sister.
She is a sister. Disappear, but to everyone else, she's not. To everyone else, she's the other.
Well, no, to everyone else, she's not because.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? So she pretends to be the one that went
switching lives. It wasn't switching lives. They were switching lives, literally.
Fair enough.
Right, because each one is married. Right.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But that being said, we get the semantics of it here. But yes, so now she's
So
involved
man,
in
listen to this clown
involved
dude
in
trying to
him.
call smart.
God,
Jesus
this guy
Christ.
is being. It's not She-Hulk, dude. It's a complexity to the show. So, but that's the premise of the show. Like Jesus Christ. So it's a limited series, 8 episodes, 7 episodes, I think, some more or less.
Seven.
Seven.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen 3 of these so far. Um, it's okay, solid,
Yeah.
good thriller. But Netflix usually delivers this. They don't do anything new. It's
So,
not gonna blow
solid,
you away.
solid entertainment,
Yeah.
and for a limited series, hey, that's fine. You need some of those.
Exactly right. It's a good watch. Like obviously it's way better than Surfside Girls, I'm sure. But there's a good show. I enjoyed it. It's a good mystery behind it. So it's intriguing. You do learn stuff about the twins and how they're growing up and stuff that they did early on and all that. So
Good.
yeah, it's engaging enough to like, okay, I want to see what happens. And she's really good. Monahan, she's great as playing
Mm-hmm.
both sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Before trading lies and not trading lies and whatever Tree wants to label it fine. It's 2 different characters. All right. But Chewy, obviously, you agree with that one as well.
Yeah. Like I said, I've only seen one. I had a busy weekend, obviously, and
Mhm.
so I just caught one yesterday. And so yeah, from what I saw from the first episode, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a slow pace, but it's well done. Yeah, at the end, it's well produced, so I'm enjoying it for the
Mm-hmm.
most part. The last one, stick with Netflix, the Girl in the Mirror, a Spanish show. Kind of more of
Mm-hmm.
a thriller show with some horror elements. For the most
Yeah,
part, it's not a
yeah.
horror show. If you're looking for that, go look elsewhere. This is not that, but I don't think it really tried to be that or build itself as that, right? But we have here this young girl who's on a retreat with some friends. Then the way back, they're on the bus. Some supernatural activity that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, the bus overturns, flips over a bunch of times, but most of them die. The girl, one of the guys loses his leg. The girl, her eyes all messed up and she lost her memory, had amnesia. Wakes up in the hospital, has no idea.
No, well, actually, and during that scene, this is one girl gets decapitated. I was like,
Oh yeah, no,
whoa.
yeah, that scene where the sun overturns and flips over, that scene is awesome. It's like wow,
Yeah.
it's like shit's going down, people flying off the bus and Lynn's
I was
very
like,
cool.
that bus kept turning and turning. Like, what the fuck, man? Where did it fall from?
It's the biggest mountain in the history of Spain, apparently. But whatever, I'll allow it. It's fine.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, that's fine. That's
it's
fine. That's
fine,
fine.
right?
It's like,
Yeah. So
yeah.
she's trying to figure out who she is and what's going on, and then she's seeing ghosts, and we learn that there's a supernatural element to the show, indeed, as it kind of alluded to before the bus crashed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm really enjoying this one. Actually, more than I thought I was going to be honest with you. I'm enjoying it even more than Echoes. This one I've seen 4. Um, Really good. It's got some good horror elements. Again, not a horror show. Don't misread the situation. But it's well done. Good mystery. The supernatural stuff. If you're into it, you buy it. If you're not into that kind of thing, I wouldn't recommend the show because you suspend disbelief. It's some demon and rituals that go on, etc., etc. That's the kind of show it is, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that's good, man. Enjoy your thoughts.
No, I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as you are. I think I like that goes more when I compared the first episode because I watched both of those back to back, and I was more entertained by Echoes than I was
Fair
by
enough.
this show. Not bad, right? And I'm very supportive of the Spanish speaking community, and this
True.
is, and I didn't realize this was a Spanish, as from Spain
Mm-hmm.
show. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But it's not, with me, the supernatural elements are not hitting yet, but I've only seen one episode.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, I guess I think again for me, I'm more into the stuff that I think you are personally, which is why for me
Mhm.
this is more my in line with what I would like to see. I mean, it's not great,
Yeah.
it's not go watch it right now, immediately turn this off. It's a solid show. You're looking for something like that, some supernatural stuff. As long as you don't mind it not being, it's actually one great scene. It's like a great horror scene. I think episode 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But other than that, just more the suggestiveness of it, the mood, the tone, and all that, and trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. So that was it was good. A solid for me. A solid watch. A good typical Netflix. Okay, for 7, 8 episodes, whatever it is. I'm not sure if it's limited series or not. I have no idea, to be honest with you.
No, this one is not
Yeah.
limited
Okay,
series.
so I can continue. Fair enough. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. It's well made. I guess I'm enjoying the more Echoes because the subject matter is more interesting to me. That's all.
Mhm.
But Echoes is still a good show. Don't get me wrong, I'm watching. I'll continue to watch both of them. Because as always, nothing ever gets released for the most part in the beginning of the week, so I always get a chance to finish off what I started on the weekend. Which leads us to what is coming on next week because we have.
Well, before
Oh,
that, did you finish Never Have I Ever?
I did finish it. Great. We talked about that show
That
It's
is just genuine
it's a
comedy
great show.
gold.
It's just
It,
we talked about last week.
it's
I mean, I was enjoying it, watching it.
well, yeah, we only seen like a couple episodes.
Right, right,
Obviously, I
yeah,
haven't finished it yet at that point. But and obviously, we know this is there's only one more season of this show, so they're gonna wrap it up after season
right,
four.
right.
Obviously, so obviously, graduate high school graduation,
Which
I'd
is good.
imagine.
It's I
Yeah,
like that. Okay, four seasons. I think it's a perfect run for this show.
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, could they go beyond politics? Because I mean,
It could.
comedy's comedy,
Yeah,
right?
it
In
could.
different settings and whatnot. But it just was just so fucking funny, man. I just love the humor, the heart to it. John McEnroe, I mean, he makes. I mean, he's what I mean. There's this in certain episodes. He's just. I mean, he's genius. This is comedy genius.
Yeah.
Right? There's one scene where
Go,
he
Jerry.
starts throwing out. Yeah, he's just throwing out baseball puns. And then he said, and I was he's on the nose about it. Like, see, I know more than this tennis.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
talking to himself. I was talking to the audience through her mind. And so, obviously, we had another guest spot for Ben. What was that? Was
Oh,
it Andy
Andy
Samberg
Samberg.
returns as the guest narrator for one of the episodes. And obviously, it's all from Ben's perspective. So, it's just overall, it's just great, man. The
No, it's such a
situations
good show.
and
It really is,
yeah,
man. It's funny, and like I said, it always has the heart enough to get you caring what's going on, and it always brings
yeah.
it home. Does a good job. That for me is an absolute must watch. Again, never have I ever comedy on Netflix. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so good. It's just great. It sucks that it's so short. You know, it's one of those like, damn, only it's 8 episodes and it's 30 minutes long. It's
No, there's just 10
damn.
episodes.
Was
Well, this season was 10
this season was
episodes.
10. Usually, yeah, this season's 10, but it's
Yeah,
still too short. It's 30 minutes to go by so fast. It's like watching Only Murders in the
yeah.
Building, which is ending next week. We'll talk about that.
Oh, man,
That
that's a
it's
good
just it's
show.
too short. I was like, God, it was 45. It's one of those shows you wish there was more of. A lot of times it's the other way around.
Speaking of
You know,
Michael Rappaport, man, I got to see he's eating and he's great. The last episode was all him and he's
you
great,
guys
man.
gotta eat, dude.
And the mystery finally unveiled. No spoilers, but wow,
Yeah, yeah.
I did not see that coming. I
At
was like,
all,
oh
just why I love that show. And like I said, we'll
yeah.
deep dive that show because it does end its 8 episode run next this week.
I think
So
this, where the first season started kind of diverged, but I don't think we saw who the murderer was.
mm,
I don't think anyone could see
no,
where this was going
no,
season two.
at
And
all.
I think that is what makes the show so great. It's like you don't see it coming.
Right.
They hide the clues are there, but they hide them so
Yeah.
well that you're part of it's like you listen to that podcast and trying to figure out who done it.
Right. Yeah.
And
It's
I
cool
was
because
like, holy
you're
cow.
along with the ride with the characters, and that's what you want in a
Hmm.
mystery, right? You want the characters knowing more than you, right? And you
Yes.
don't want to know more than the characters most of the time.
Yeah,
It
most
happens
of
a
the time.
lot.
You
Yeah.
want to be able to solve things, but
Right, and so
but you don't want
along,
to,
yeah, solve it. Yeah,
oh, this is too easy. All right, from episode one, I'm done.
right. You
Right.
want to, I can follow along with the characters, and so this is what you're seeing, what they're seeing at the same time. I love that. So yeah,
Mm.
we'll talk about that fine. Hopefully, I'm sure it sticks to landing. I'm not worried about that, but we'll definitely talk about it next week. But for sure, but
Now next week, yeah,
next week, starting today, the big show
tonight,
tonight.
9 o'clock Eastern, HBO,
The little Game of Thrones is back. Everybody should be excited. We're all gonna watch it.
House of the Dragon,
The
baby.
Dragons. I hear good things about the show. I'm sure it's gonna be good. I'm
Hmm.
not worried about it, but that does start tonight. So we're kicking off in a big, big way. Um,
Dragons.
Dragons, I love dragons. But things slow down, which is good because I can finish up what I was watching. And then on Wednesday, I believe the 24th, right after I put up another episode of She-Hulk and deal with that crap. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Actually,
Um,
that's on Thursday, by the way, but
I'm just
whatever.
kidding. Oh, that is Thursdays. Yeah, you're right. They moved it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. But a show called Mo, a comedy, a Palestinian main character, right? A family, but it's not a
A
Palestinian.
Palestinian in Texas.
Right, but it's not a Palestinian show. It's an American show. Just deal
No,
with
no, no. It's American. So obviously,
right.
obviously, the
Yeah,
Palestinian heritage,
because you hear
immigrant
that people
family.
like no, it's an American show.
Yeah.
It's just based off a
No.
character who is him and his family are Palestinian
Hmm.
from Palestine, and yeah, so he's hustling, trying to feed his family, and he's definitely a hustler. He doesn't have a citizenship in either Palestine or United States, so he's kind of stuck in the middle. It looks actually pretty funny. I saw a trailer actually.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
dramedy, right?
yeah, drama. Yeah,
Not dark comedy, dramedy.
drama.
So there's a difference,
Hmm.
and so I think it plays off the kind of stranger in a strange land type of situation, right? Obviously, where you're a person of color in Texas and an immigrant, probably not illegal, but obviously you have no citizenship really.
Right.
That classification, and he's trying to make it through, provide for his family, and obviously there's enough company governments involved with his background and dealing with being in the U.S. that I think it should be a good show.
Yeah,
So I
it
can
looked, that
hoping
surprised me. I
for.
saw a trailer, I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Not better than I thought.
Mhm.
So I'm looking forward to that one. On Thursday, battling with She-Hulk, we got History 101 on Netflix, which is like
Ah, yes,
a docu-series. Very short. The first
yes.
season was like 20 minutes a piece, dealing with like,
They
fast.
they're 10 to 20 minute
Yeah.
range. So these are snack size um, episodes
Mhm.
or historical topics, right? So one of them last season, if I remember correctly, they dealt with like the rise of China, and they did it in a quick 15 minutes that was succinct, to the point, interesting, and like and then in this type of work society where it's hard to keep people's attention, especially with subjects that deserve a greater in-depth analysis. I think this is a great job of giving you what you need, what you want, and
Yeah,
giving you
it's
enough to
short. It's
understand.
short and sweet.
Yeah.
It deals with that tech. This one,
Mm-hmm.
this like is more technology driven, or dating apps,
Good.
or laser technology, et cetera, et cetera. It looks interesting. So I like that first season. It was a good, fun, easy watch.
It's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
20 minutes. You can even pick out the episodes you want that interest you and just watch that for 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. If you just want
Um,
to know to go to the
exactly. Move
next
on
one.
to the
Yeah.
next one. So it's really well done. On that Friday, this is the big Friday. We got Peacock.
Peacock.
The end is nigh. Of course, it's
Mm.
Bill Nye, the greatest scientist.
Well, it's actually sci-fi slash Peacock, because it's
But
actually shown on
it's going to
sci-fi.
be on both. But if you have Peacock, go
Kind of
on
like Resident
Peacock.
Alien, right? It's a sci-fi show, but you can watch it on Peacock
Exactly,
and HBO.
exactly. I think they own it. But either way, so you got Bill Nye, the
Mm-hmm.
second greatest scientist since Walter White.
Oh,
He's just saying this. We're on the subject. Just saying.
whatever.
Say his name. So yeah, and so Bill Nye, returns, and I guess he's the series about dealing with obviously end of world situations, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Catastrophic
six
situations.
episodes. Yes, yes, exactly. And so I'm not sure what take he's gonna show, or maybe from what I've read, I haven't seen the trailer.
Mm,
I've seen little bits and pieces here. But I would say I guess he kind of shows a way to survive or to get through whatever that calamity
right.
is.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I mean, listen,
I
I'll
mean,
watch it.
I don't think he's trying to prevent the calamity. I think he's just
No, no,
showing how
no,
to
no.
survive
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, he's preventing it because someone just unpreventable, I guess.
Hmm.
But it looks interesting. I'm definitely gonna watch that on Apple Plus. I don't see the show. I wasn't a fan. I know you are, but see the third and final season. Jason Momoa reprising his role
Jason Momoa.
comes out,
Hmm.
so I will let you talk about that next week. We got Amazon. We got a couple of movies, so it makes it easier to watch the movies come out. It's just one sitting and we're done, right? We're not watching four
Hmm.
or five episodes. Samaritan, Sylvester Stallone, his superhero film, Amazon Prime. I'm a little apprehensive because this was originally set to be a theatrical release and then it got sold. That usually doesn't bode well when it gets sold to be on streaming. So I don't know what to make of it. I'll give it a shot. The trailer looked cool for what it's worth. But the expectations, the bar is definitely down here somewhere. So if they can surpass that, fine. But it looks interesting. That's on Friday. The other movie, Me Time. That's Kevin Hart, Mark.
That I have no expectation
Most of the day,
for.
Mark Wahlberg.
Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg.
I mean, I like both of them.
Mm.
And Kevin Hart, not my favorite, but I still like him, and he's done some good Netflix stuff. And I love Mark Wahlberg.
No, no, no. I mean, him and The Rock together,
No, the right.
that's good stuff.
That's a good The Rock.
Him and Mark Wahlberg.
Let's see,
Okay, let's
right?
see.
But I like Wahlberg. He does well, right?
No, no,
Yeah,
no. I
yeah.
mean, he's had a wide range of roles. I mean, did some comedies
Mm.
with oh god, what's his name? Anchorman.
Oh, Will Ferrell.
Um, thank you, Will Ferrell, which were okay. I think we
Fine,
called the other guys. It was
fine.
okay,
Yeah.
whatever. He's done some action ones, Contraband, and obviously he was in the last movie he did was with Spider Man,
Oh, and Uncharted,
Holland. Yeah,
which
Uncharted, which
is
I actually saw it on
it's
Netflix,
okay.
which wasn't.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was fine.
Yeah,
It was
it
fine.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah. For Netflix, I mean,
And
it's
they
not
set
a
up for a
Netflix movie.
sequel for Sony and whatnot.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it was fine. But yeah, this one here we got Kevin Hart. I guess his family's gone away,
I
so he's
mean,
got like a
the
oh,
good comedy he's done was Daddy. What was
Daddy's
that? The
home.
Daddy movie.
Daddy's home.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
Daddy's
like the
Home.
first
The
one.
first one was
Yeah,
with John Lithgow,
yeah.
right? And the second one had Lithgow
Mel Gibson, I think.
and Mel
Yeah,
Gibson. Yeah.
John Cena had a cameo at the
So
end, I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
Another, Lithgow is a sequel to Will Ferrell. So that was
yeah.
another team up he did with Will Ferrell,
Mm.
which actually that would actually work a lot better.
No, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, he
Uh,
has moments. He has moments. So look, this is
mhm.
good. Kevin Hart's got a hall pass, kind of. And I guess Mark was an old friend again to shenanigans. So let's see. It's Netflix. So again, the bar. I put a little higher than Samaritan. but it's let's be honest here. The last thing, of course, that same Friday, the only show released on Friday, well, besides C, is Mike. Of course, the Mike Tyson
Mm,
dramatization
the Mike
series on
Tyson,
Hulu,
yeah,
which I guess
yes,
Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet. We all know that. For those who were around during that time, he was the baddest man
he
on the
was,
planet.
he was.
Just a scary guy. And I guess Mike Tyson said this. He's not getting paid for this. He wasn't happy with what happened. I got to read up on as far as the circumstances of this biopic
Hmm.
show. I'm not sure. But whatever. It's Mike Tyson. I grew up during that era. We both did. He was the man, right? He was a
Hmm.
polarizing figure above most any athletes I've ever seen, for the most part, right?
Hmm.
Um, and the story is crazy and it's very interesting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Hulu can do with this one.
Hmm.
I think that.
And Hulu has a history of doing these great docudramas.
Mhm.
Like I said, we saw the one of the Dope Stick, which was great
Dope
on
Stick,
the
yeah,
opioid
that was
crisis.
a great one. Yeah, done like
Yeah, I mean,
the one with what's her face with the girl with the in Silicon Valley. I just had that. I forgot the name of the show.
oh God, what was the
I
name of
can't
it?
remember the name of the show, but Amanda Seyfried was in it. If I'm
Yes,
not
yes,
mistaken, that was decent. Pam and Tommy.
Theranos. Yeah, the Theranos story. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one was great.
yeah,
Yeah.
Pam and Tommy. I enjoyed that one a lot. So
Oh man, that
yeah,
was
so they've done really
yeah,
well
good
with
stuff.
these kind of shows. So which is why I'm really
Hmm.
looking forward to it. So I don't recognize the main actor who plays Mike Tyson. Um,
Oh, he is. He's been. Um, he was. God, what was it? Was he in The Wire? No, he wasn't in The Wire. He might have been in The
it's
Wire.
possible. I gotta go
Uh,
back and see because I saw a little bit of the trade off. I forgot this was
yeah,
coming out this soon.
I think
Um,
the guy he played. He had a role in The Wire, if I'm not mistaken. Now it's an old show. But he was Ant-Man. He was the cop, Kevin Allen's
oh
partner
yeah,
in Ant-Man. So
yeah.
you see him around
Okay.
in certain things, right? You pick him up from certain. He's probably the atypical that guy in that thing because
Mhm.
you've seen him but not seen him enough that you say, okay, he's been in that or he's been in this.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got some work done. So that one I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually looking forward to a lot. I'm not sure how many episodes they'll drop, but we'll talk about that along with Ernie Murders Only in the
Okay.
building. We'll talk about that finale. But that being said, big week for you guys. Lots to watch. Lots for us to let you know what if you should watch them or not. Of course, always every Sunday, join us here. Subscribe, like, and share. We appreciate it. Enjoy your week of good TV watching. I know we will, and we are. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.